A very good morning to all the students of class 11th political science, and students, welcome back to the online classes here. As you know, we had started our first book, that is political theory, and in the last video I had finished your first chapter, that is political theory and introduction, which was an important chapter to understand the entire book and entire concept of these books and the reason why we are reading this particular book. So we have discussed it in the first chapter, and today the second chapter is, this is the part first of the second chapter, that is liberty. But you will find the change in the name here. Previously your second chapter's name was freedom, now which has been updated according to the new revised syllabus by the CBSE, which and the PDF I have already sent you in the group previously, so you can check it. Now this freedom, this chapter is now liberty, and some part of freedom we will be studying under this topic. So the topics which we have to study according to the CBSE new syllabus pattern for the this session 2020 and 21, these two topics will be the most important topics which we shall be covering for this topic. For liberty, we shall be trying and understand liberty versus freedom. Previously this chapter was freedom, but now we will understand liberty versus freedom. What is the major difference, as this looks same, and at the, if I say at the layman's language, these two words are interchanged and used at one another's place as synonyms. Okay, synonyms. So we'll try to understand what is the meaning of liberty and what is the meaning of freedom and how they are different from one another. Okay, then the second topic which we will be covering, that is negative and positive liberty. When we have understood the meaning of liberty, then we will see it how is it is negative and how it is positive. So these two are the major topics, but apart from this I will also be taking this topic freedom from your NCERT book, because this is important for you to understand that what do we mean by freedom and what are the constants to freedom, and is it important to have some constants means some barriers और रुकावट और पाबंदी in Hindi we call. So ज़रूरी है कि we should have some पाबंदी or some restrictions, we can say, on freedom. So we'll try and understand in this. Once we finish these topics, I will take this topic freedom from your NCERT book, okay, which I think is important for you to understand. So for today, let's take up this first topic, that is liberty versus freedom. So today in this lecture, we'll try to cover only this topic, liberty and freedom. Although this looks very simple, but the difference, there is a slight difference between these two, but we'll try and understand that. Okay, so let's start with this particular content. We hear a lot around us that people appear to us the word liberty and freedom as synonyms. As you know, the meaning of synonyms are the words which are having the same meaning, and we can use these words in place of each other. So here, if we say about the common people or the students who are not related to political science or political theory, so they use these terms liberty and freedom. At every place where we can use freedom, they will use liberty, and the place of liberty they will use freedom, because they think they are one and the same thing. But you are a student of political science, you are studying this book political theory, and in this political theory it is this is where we are learning about freedom, justice, equality, democracy, citizenship. We will study all these terms deeply, that what are the meanings there and what are the importance and relevance of these terms in our real life. So we'll try and find the deep meaning of liberty and freedom. So mostly common people use them as synonyms, as they think they are the one and the same thing, but there are some fundamental differences. But if you are a student of political science, you should know the difference between these two, and there are some fundamental difference between these two concepts that must be understood. And it is very much important for you to understand that what is the meaning of liberty and what do we mean by freedom, and they cannot be used for one another, they are not synonyms. So we'll find that slight difference through some definitions. First of all, let's take the definition of liberty and freedom, then we'll see what is the difference between these two concepts. As I told you, there is some fundamental differences, not much but some. So first of all, taking about liberty, liberty comes from the Latin word libertium, which means condition of a free man. If we talk about liberty, it is a Latin word, and in Latin the meaning is libertarium tatum libertatum, and the meaning of this libertatum means it is a Latin word. Okay, and from this word we have a word that is liberty, and this libertum means condition of a free man. When any person is free to do any act, perform any act, कोई भी काम या कार्य करने की फ्रीडम. ओके, जब हमारे पास कोई भी फ्रीडम होगी टू डू एनी वर्क, वी कॉल इट फ्री मैन. इट मीन्स कंडीशन ऑफ अ फ्री मैन. सो यू हैव टू रिमेंबर दिस इज अ फ्रीडम टू फ्री टू परफॉर्म एनी एक्ट, that is called liberty. And let's see what do we mean by freedom. Freedom comes from the English word. If you will learn, this is a freedom, this has come from an English word. And which was that English word? It was freedom, freedom, freedom. From this English word freedom we have got this word freedom, which means state of free will. You have to make sure the difference is, it means condition of a free man, and here freedom means state of a free will. This means freedom to take decisions. जब हमें we can say freedom होगी, हमारी choice होगी, we can make our own choices, we can take our own decisions, then we can say we have the freedom. In liberty we have the liberty, or we are free to perform any act, we can do anything, but here we can take our own decisions. So let us try and understand these two more properly. I think this would not be clear with these two definitions, but you must remember these two definitions. This can come for 2 marks or 1 mark. Okay, we will find the difference now properly with the help of few examples. Now let's start further. You can see here the difference between these two concepts. Which two concepts? Liberty and freedom, which we are discussing here in this chapter. So if we want to find the difference between these two concepts, we can briefly be outlined as follows. So we can outline the difference between these two as follows here. Okay, I have divided them. So let us see what is the difference between liberty and freedom. Definition we have already seen, and the two important thing within the definition we have told about liberty, that is condition of a free man, where a person is free to perform any act or any action. No one can stop him, he is always free. And under freedom we have seen when a person is free to take its own decision of its own choice. Okay, there are no constraints at all. So when we talk about liberty, we say condition of a free man, and free man means power to act. This man in this situation, he has the power to act and take any action. Okay, it is all related to the act or action. Free to do something, it means any person is free to do something, he can do something, he has that liberty. But when we talk about freedom, state of free will, and the meaning of free will I have told you, power to decide, power to take decision, free from something. Now here the thing was free to do something. In liberty this person was free to do something, but here under freedom the same person is free from something. Okay, he is free from something, the constant or whatever was the pressure on him, there is no pressure on him, he can free from something, he is now free from something. Okay, for example we can take in your class. So we'll understand these two terms. I hope you have seen this definition, and these are the important differences which you will have to write in the exam, but we can try to understand these two differences with small examples. Okay, so if I take the example of your class, suppose if I am sitting in your class and I have some work to do for the attendance register or some other work, I am busy and I can't take your class, but I have to sit in the class. So I will sit in the class and I will tell you one thing, that students, you have the liberty, you can do any work, you can do the written work of any subject. If you want to do the drawing, you can do drawing, but nobody will make noise and nobody will move from one place to another and nobody will go outside. You sit at your places and you do your own work of any subject. What does this mean? It means I have given you certain liberty, that power to act, you can do whatever you want. I have given you this power. I'm not saying that you have to do only political science or you only have to study history. I'm saying you have the power to act. You want to do drawing, you can, but I have put certain restrictions. And what are those restrictions? That nobody will make noise, nobody will go out of the class. But what liberty I have given you, you can do your own work, whatever subject you want. Okay, it means you are free to do something. I have given you some liberty that you can do something. So of your own choice, if you want to read a storybook, you want to read a novel, you want to make a drawing, painting, or you want to write your written work, Okay, you can do map work. So all it is up to you. It means I have made certain rules and regulations for you, but along with it I have given you some power to act. Along with, you are free to do something of your own choice. This is called liberty. But on the other hand, in the same way, I have some other work in and I have to go out. It means I will free your class. I will say you all are free, you can do whatever you want, and I am going, I have some work, important work. It means you all are free now. You can go out of the class, you can go to music room, you can go to playground, you can play volleyball. If someone wants to go to library, they can go to the library. So here, what does this mean? Power to decide. Now you have the power to decide if you want to play, if you want to go to the library, you want to sit in the class and study. It's all up to you. It means I have left the class, a teacher has gone, and you have the power to decide. Okay, and you are free from something. Okay, and what is this something? Previously I was in the class, but now you are free from your teacher. Okay, there is no supervision under you. So previously you were doing this work under my provision. I had given you certain liberty, but still I was sitting in the class. You were free to do something which you wanted, but I was there under, you are doing under my supervision. But here under freedom, there is no supervision. You are free to do anything, and you are free from something. That is, now I am not in the class. With this example, I hope you must have understood. And one more example, if you want, we can take 1947. We can take, we got, India got independence, you know. So we, what we call this 1947, we got the freedom. Do we say that we got the liberty? No, we got the freedom in 1947 from the British rule. Okay, it means now British had nothing to interfere in Indian politics or Indian functioning. Now they had gone, they could not interfere in India in any activity. It means we had got the freedom from British. Okay, but although when Britishers were there, then we were having some liberty, as we were given some freedom to do something, but under some rules and regulations which we had to follow, and those rules and regulations were made by the British. Previously we were having liberty, but after we got the freedom, we can say that in real sense we were free, as there was no interference of British into India internal matters. Okay, for the same thing, we can take one more example. Suppose there is a jail. Okay, there is a jail, and the jailer says to few of the prisoners that now you have the freedom and you can go. And if I say if they have the freedom, it means they can go out of the jail. They are free now. Whatever the tenure of their punishment was there, 2 year 4 year, that is over, and they are free now, they can go. But if I say they have the liberty, if I say few prisoners, there are 5 prisoners here, I have told them, now you have the liberty. It means they are not allowed to go outside, but I have given them some liberty, where they can do something of their choice. That is, I have given them liberty to use mobile phone, to read newspapers, to watch TV. Okay, to do painting work. It means I have given some liberty to them. So I hope you can understand the meaning and the difference between liberty and freedom, and there is a slight difference between these two, and this is very important for a student of political science to understand, as these two, we cannot say they are synonyms. They do not have the same meaning, although their meaning is very close to each other, but there is a thin line or line of difference we can find. And I hope with these examples, these are very good examples where you can understand the meaning and difference between liberty and freedom, and this is very important from the point of view of your exams. Okay, so be very careful while you are studying this. Now the common feature between these two concepts is that, so now this was the difference, but what is common between these two? So the common thing is that they both remain unconstrained and unconstrained. Constrained means I have told you pabandi, when there are some restrictions, there are some barriers. But if we talk about these two concepts, that is freedom and liberty, these both the concepts are free. They do not have any constraints, because meaning of liberty is power to act and freedom means power to decide. It means these two concepts, they do not have any constraint. कोई बीच में पाबंदी या रुकावट नहीं है. Okay, which means that their realization is free from any constraints. It means to practice. Okay, so if you have to practice what liberty and freedom, okay, so we do not have any constraint. ठीक है. Further, both follow rightful and ethical conformity in terms of their realization. It is one and the same thing. I hope you must have understood the meaning of liberty and freedom. I've taken a short topic today, but it is very important for you to understand this topic. And hopefully, I think you will be able to understand with the help of the examples. And in the next class, I shall be taking negative and positive liberty, and maybe I will also take freedom, as I told you, from your NCRT book, which is an important topic. It's not in your this syllabus, but some part of freedom you will be able to use it while answering this liberty and freedom. Till then, thank you. Bye.